I'm doing this video today on Brooks Adrenaline GTS 16 tennis shoes. In March, I purchased my very first pair of Brooks shoes. It's these purple ones. And I loved them so much that the next week I purchased these, as well as I took my family with me so that they could get some shoes too. My older son couldn't decide which shoe to get, and I recommended the Brooks, and these are his. And everything was going pretty good with the shoes up until about a month and a half ago that my son came to me and was telling me about his shoes. And they started to, let me see, where am I? Right there. Peel. And they were causing some problems that would get caught in the carpet and kind of do a little drag there. And well, I figured just got to get new shoes. And he kept these, which I'm glad he did. He kept them to go and, you know, just take out the trash or whatever, just little piddly things. Because shortly after that, my shoes did the exact same thing on both pairs, except I ended up getting hurt with mine. I actually fell and I got bumped and bruised. So for me, that was kind of it for 3 pairs of shoes to do this same thing in the same area, and they're worn by 2 different people here. I thought, well, yeah, we have to contact the company because I think there might be some sort of defect in this particular style of shoe. I went to their website, I filled out all the questions, everything that they were asking, and about a week later I received an email and they wanted more information. It turned out that the information I gave them still was not enough. And I didn't label them shoe 1, shoe 2, shoe 3. I did send them pictures of everything, and I would mention like the blue one, the purple one, the green one. And they wanted shoe 1, shoe 2, and stuff like that. I started to think that they wanted information from a car because they wanted to know how many miles had I gone in the shoes, how fast was I going in the shoes. So things like that kind of made me wonder if I was writing the right person. I thought maybe I was calling Ford or Chevy or something, because you usually don't go and try to clock how fast are you going in a pair of shoes or how far you're going in a pair of shoes. A lot of people count steps, but they're not counting, I went 5 miles in here today and 20 in this and, you know, 30 over here. No one's really stopping to see that. That, especially if you have multiple shoes. You're not keeping track of how much time you spent that day in those shoes and how fast you were going. Most of the people, by the end of the day, they just want to take off their shoes. They want to just rest. So I called them because I couldn't believe the questions they were asking, and I got the impression that they really didn't care. They really weren't sorry that their product did not hold up to its performance. And I went ahead and I answered all the questions. They sent me another email and I got the same response. This time they wanted everything again, except now they wanted more space. I mean, it was just like, it was just busy work. To me, it felt like they were putting red tape because they didn't want to have to replace anything. And I wasn't really asking for a replacement. I was just wanting to let them know so they were aware that there was a problem with this type of shoe. But they offered in the email that they would replace the shoes if I would give them the correct information, which was, like I said, the numbers on the tongue, the numbers under the cushion sole, and I had to also tell them how fast and how many miles I had gone and all these other questions. And I just had to put, I didn't know, because some of these things I didn't know. And they didn't like that. So I would call them and tell them I really don't know. Because not many people are going to know how far they went in a pair of shoes just walking that day, especially if you're driving, you're at work, you're going up and down stairs or in an elevator to the store or whatever. In a typical day, you are not measuring how many miles you went in a pair of shoes and how fast you went in there. Most people go anywhere between 2 to 5 miles an hour, I guess, and maybe a little bit more if you're running or something. They are running shoes, from what they tell me. The lady at Foot Locker said they're runner shoes, but they can be used for walking because the sole is thicker, so it'll allow you to walk more and give more cushion, because it has that shock absorbent thing, I don't know where, somewhere, in there to help relieve some of that back pain. So I got 3 emails and 1 on the website, so that's a total of 4 correspondence there by, typing, I guess you could say, because it's not written. And there again, for each one, I made a phone call. And I talked to 4 different people each time, and they all had the same attitude. They had horrible customer service. Like I said, they didn't feel like they valued me as a customer or my business. They weren't trying to really keep you happy so that you can come back. Even though they replaced the shoes, and there again, these are the same Brooks Adrenaline GTS 16, which you can get on their website, Finish Line or Foot Locker. I don't know who else has them. I just know about those 3. They are $120, and I figure that if they cost that much money, they should not be coming apart. When I got the last letter saying that they will indeed replace them, that I had given them sufficient information, I had to go to their website to pick out a shoe. And these shoes I didn't pick at Finish Line because I didn't like them. But I didn't have a choice. I called them, I told them, can I wait? Because there's only one style that I actually like the color, and but they didn't have my size. They said that no, because they were not going to be getting any more of the 16s, only the 17s, which will be coming out in November. So I only had 24 to 48 hours to make my decision. So these are the colors that I got for myself. My son, on the other hand, he got lucky. He got Texan colors. Go Texans. So he was lucky, and he got a pretty nice shoe. These are nice shoes, don't get me wrong. They do look nice, but they're not the colors that I would have wanted. I have had shoes with this color, and they get dirty like super, super easy. And well, I didn't want gray. I just didn't want gray. But, well, they did come today. They came FedEx. I got an email on September the 8th saying that they were sending these out, but they would not give me a tracking number. They gave me a reference code so that I could call the office and check to see, where they are in transit. So it said anywhere between 5 to 7 days, so I really didn't expect them until either Friday or next week. So kind of a little surprised that they came in today. Happy, but, well, there they are. If I would buy Brooks shoes again, I'm not really sure. It's going to depend on whether or not these do the same thing as these. Now, while I was waiting for these, because I love these so much, I pretty much chunked my other shoes. So I was kind of just down to these. And since I really like them. They feel, pretty good in there. I can, like I said, I can walk a lot longer without having to get any back pain. So I didn't want to give up my shoes. I went ahead and I used Mod Podge, which for those of you who don't know, it's a type of glue. And I put them in here, but it didn't really work. They still managed to come apart. These, they're still sticking on there for how much longer, I don't know. As you can see, my purple ones are obviously the ones I use the most. I hope this will help somebody make a decision with theirs. I can make a video later in a couple of months to see if these came apart like these other shoes, and if so, I would definitely think that it's a defect in this style of shoe. I saw a lady this evening at the grocery store, and she had a pair, but they were brand new, so I couldn't really ask her, if hers came apart or anything. But I did talk to someone else before her, and she had the same thing happen. So I'm thinking it's just the defect, and it wasn't just my shoes or my son's shoes that did this. And I think those people at Brooks really need to use something better, some better adhesive. And I'm sure they have some industrial strength adhesive that could definitely work better. I've never, ever had a shoe that the sole came apart at anywhere, except just right here, this very tip. It's kind of typical. If you're kicking things, or, it's just rubbing against things, so it's no big deal. And it just usually comes off a little bit. So that's typical, but never the bottom part, never. My mother, I took her the day after we went to go get our shoes, and she actually got the Nike Air, and she is pretty satisfied with those, and I wish I had purchased the Nike Air now, because maybe I wouldn't have all this trouble. So now these are going to be chunked, and let's see how these go. I hope this helps someone. I hope that if this same thing happens to them, they don't just chunk it right away. Please write them. Try and get your shoes replaced, and then chunk them. I hope this helps. Thank you very much for watching. Be blessed. Bye.